My guest on this week's podcast is one of the most exciting acts to emerge in recent times. His smooth, soulful voice puts me a bit in mind of Maxwell, D'Angelo, that kind of era of neo-soul. But moreover, he has just dropped the most fantastic mixtape, which showcases his ability as a songwriter absolutely stunningly. He is incredible. I'm really excited to have him on Topple Uncaged. It's the incredible Indy Allen. Indy, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Much love and respect, Steve. Much love.
Thank you for coming on. Now, this mixtape, it is absolutely brilliant. It's a must-have already, and it's only literally been out a day. But you're not new to the scene. Your first record dropped in 2016, and then, of course, last year, 2018, your song Catch a Fire absolutely blew up. It was on rotation. It's been on loop on One Extra in the UK. But to me, I mean, your sound and your songwriting ability, it sounds like you're not new to this at all. There's a real sort of deep-rooted musicality with what you do, and you come across in your writing and your performance like you've been doing this years. I mean, how far back does music stretch for you? When did you first start your songwriting and your singing and performing, as it were? When did that begin?
Well, Steve, I started a long time ago, The first experience I had musically was, seeing my brother practicing for church events and, church rehearsals and everything there. And that really inspired me in terms of the type of music that he was practicing at the time. I would always be around him when he's rehearsing and, wanting to harmonize and everything there and learning these songs. And it would be a lot of traditional church songs. And then separate and apart from that now, we listen to a lot of Boyz II Men, a lot of R&B, a lot of different genres coming up, So it was from them time there. From the primary school era, coming up through high school, and then we decided, say, all right, we're going to go Kingston after that. So after about 9th grade and 10, I started take music really serious, after falling in love with it for the first time, seeing my brother, in church singing and everything there. So it's from them time there till now. And it has been a really great journey since, Can't complain at all, Steve.
It has. I mean, as I said in the introduction, though, you are an extremely, extremely exciting artist, not least for your vocals. Your voice is absolutely phenomenal. I'd urge listeners, there's a cover you do on YouTube of Fix You, and I'd urge listeners to go and find it because it's absolutely beautiful. Your voice, you flip between this smooth, silky tenor, then you go into a falsetto, and you flip back again. It's just fantastic, and your interpretation of the song as well is absolutely brilliant. I mean, as I said in the introduction, you put me in mind of that era of soul singers like Maxwell and D'Angelo with the power and the quality of your voice and the tone, but also your interpretation and songwriting ability. I don't want to sort of put you on the spot, and obviously you may not have anyone in mind, but who influenced you, if anyone, vocally? Was there any artists that stood out for you?
Yeah, man, definitely, man. From them time there, as I said, as you mentioned, you have the Maxwell and the D'Angelo and those type of sounds, combined with, the Marleys and everything. Those were the influences that, crafted my sound in a sense. And I give thanks for being exposed to those kind of music. Yeah, no, absolutely. You can hear the Marley influence coming through. Absolutely. I mean, you're a real talent. I want to talk about the mixtape now. Indie Me Name dropped on Saturday, 23rd of February. It's an absolutely phenomenal piece of work. But I'm kind of curious because I know you're planning, I think, on releasing an album later this year. What was your thinking behind sort of dropping a mixtape as opposed to dropping a full album first? Where did that idea come from for you? All right, it was a thing that we never wanted to, and I say we as in my creative partner in crime, Knox. We spoke about this a lot, and we never wanted to release a next body of work without growing that brand, growing that core fan base and thing. And for all of the people who never know who indie is, and I mean, I felt like I wanted to reach more people, introduce more people to who indie is, and kind of show that, indie is not just somebody that's one-dimensional. There's a lot of sides and a certain depth to what indie is capable of, what indie has to say in terms of the message. And the mixtape, we wanted to achieve just that with the mixtape, being out of the box.
No, absolutely. And I mean, what you've done so well with Indie Me Name is that no one can put you in a box with this, because musically it is extremely diverse. You've got tracks like Kings and Queens, which has that real neo soul, again, D'Angelo feel about it. You then go to Everything Takes Money, which is while it's still neo soul, it's got a real sort of conscious theme and commentary about the system that we're living under. Musically, you then flip it up again with the beautiful track Father's Day, which is a kind of dancehall come Afrobeat R&B, sound that's really big in the UK at the minute. And then you go to Dub School, which is a proper kind of roots reggae stroke dub mashup. It's absolutely brilliant the way you're flipping across musical genres. Was this intentional, or is it a reflection of who you are as an artist?
Yeah, man, it was intentional, man, because as you say, it is a reflection of who I am as an artist, and these are some of the things that influence that, in terms of the type of music that I listen to. It's a very wide span across all genres. I listen to hip hop, I listen to dancehall, I listen to reggae, the dub culture. As you say, you mentioned the track which is now Dreams, Dub School. Having a sound like that, it's all a part of the culture. And I wanted to just show how versatile indie is, how there are many sides to these stories, the message that we have to tell. And I mean, it's just how we choose to portray the message. We can portray the message in a different styles, shape, form, different feel. And I mean, it's just being creative, being true to myself as an individual, as indie, being true to the type of music that I was brought up listening to. And it was just a showcase of all of that encapsulated in one introduction, Indie Me Name.
No, for real. And the Indie Me Name showcases your sort of multifaceted abilities as a musician absolutely brilliantly. I mean, what also comes across on it, and it's a joy to hear, is you are so vocally dexterous. I mean, especially on Dub School, the rate you knock out syllables is absolutely fantastic. You are extremely talented and as I say, dexterous as a vocalist as well. Incredible skills there. I mean, what also grabbed me about the mixtape was that every track has a story to tell. There's an overriding deep-rooted thought process obviously behind this, because every track tells a story, and it makes the whole mixtape a complete package. Just for the listeners at home, I mean, take a couple of stories that inspired you and are behind some of the tracks. Just pick out a couple for me and explain to the listeners what exactly they were about.
Alright, so the first one where we don't want to touch upon is Father's Day. I think as a musician and as a son, seeing the love and appreciation and energy and hard work my father put in and thing, and looking in the industry and life in general, it's almost like I never see anybody else around me kind of paying enough tribute or homage to all of the good fathers out there. So I decided to, contribute my whole experience, and, that would be my salute or my congrats or my, good job, to all of the fathers out there who's doing very well, raising them youths and taking care of them family and thing. Everything Takes Money was also a next tune where it was based off a conversation that I was having with a friend at the time, and it was almost like, boy, for upcoming artists, like, we face a lot of expenses, and every single thing what we do in either the career or whether it be personal life, it take money to achieve. And these are some of the things that came out into the songs. The come up was about my journey from before my start to where I am now.
No, they do stand out. For me, there are, of course, standout tracks. I mean, Kings and Queens, as I said, it's absolutely beautiful. It's a stunningly produced, stunningly stunningly executed track, which is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have Father's Day, which again it's a beautiful sentiment, but moreover, again, it's brilliant production and brilliant writing, which is bang up to date. And of course, The West, which you released several months ago, which is again has been doing the rounds, as it were, and you can hear it a lot on radio. But it's a brilliant sentiment, really interesting sentiment as well, because the song is referring specifically, first off, to the problems politically and
Jamaica.
socially of the place you grew up. But of course, you can take
Montego Bay.
it as more of a overarching message about the whole system, political and economic and social, that we live under. Is that kind of one of your main drivers, that you want your music to convey your thoughts and your beliefs and get them across to the audience? Is that one of your main motivations?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I always try to share the message, share a particular message, and it's always one message at the end of the day. Joy is love and salvation is still attainable. But at the same time, we always try to share any personal messages or socially, anything that would affect me, you, us as a community, us as a nation. I always try to share those things in the music and, start a conversation, have people thinking about these things, would I be that, I experienced this too. And, you can also hear that in the West, where I'm talking about these things that are happening in my hometown, Montego Bay. And then for no say, these things that are happening in Mobay, the place are run like a real wild, wild west. These things can be seen and felt by other people living in the western side of the world, same way. These are things that everybody else is going through. So it's not just Jamaica alone or Mobay.
No, absolutely, and that's why it's a standout track for me, because, as you say, it's issues that affect Jamaica, but it also can be then placed on the system as a whole globally. It's that sort of multifaceted element of it, which is so good. I had a UK rapper called Loki on a few weeks ago, and we were discussing geopolitics and also conscious music, and we were talking about the fact that the world is undoubtedly in a very kind of dark place at the minute. Politically, it's extremely chaotic. There's a lot of what are dangerous things and people sort of coming to the fore at present. But what's interesting is that the conscious music movement, especially the roots movement coming out of Jamaica, seems to be responding to that almost, and it's having a real renaissance at the minute. There's some extremely talented people putting out some extremely powerful music. Do you feel that? Do you feel the conscious movement and its music is in a good place at the minute?
Yeah, man, I definitely think it is in a good place, Steve. Because, when you really check the thing, when you have so much youths rising up and choosing to defend the faith and choosing to talk about righteousness, and that is not a easy thing. That is not the most commercial, but it's a choice. And to see so many people gravitating towards listening to that truth, seeking that righteousness is a definite sign that, conscious music and conscious messages and thing right now in this moment in time is in the right place. I mean, there has to be a balance now. You can't have all the negative and no consciousness, no positive.
Yeah, but agreed. The conscious movement and the music is doing absolutely fantastic things at the minute, and it looks to me like you are going to be a central part of that, which is absolutely stunning. And the mixtape showcases that exceptionally well. So. Mixtape has dropped, Indie Me Name. There's talk of the album, possibly. Are we going to see an album from you this year? Can you give me the lowdown on that?
Well, I definitely know there's a lot of new music in store now, Steve. But I now gotta tell the eyes, there will be an album releasing this year. Because there's a lot of work that go into an album, And as a track on the mixtape say everything take money, An album take money for do. So, I mean, we definitely taking our time. Me and my team, we're taking the time for, work on the thing, them work on some good music, work on putting in the time and effort, sweat and tears, and make sure say when the album is ready, you know, it is well received. So we're not gonna say, boy, you know, this year for sure or next year. We're not putting a timeline on it because I don't want to feel rushed or feel like I need to rush to put out this body of work. As I said, the mixtape was an introduction to those who don't know me, and you know, this project will have anybody who listens, you know, getting to know Indie a little bit more before we even move on to putting out our next project. And yeah, I mean, the album will come in due time, everything in due season. So just go and enjoy the introduction from the mixtape so far, and you know.
Indeed, if the mixtape was just an introduction, then I cannot wait to hear what is going to be on this album. My goodness. You are one of the most exciting vocalists coming out of the roots and Jamaican scene. And you're also one of the most exciting songwriters. And as I say, if the mixtape is just a sample of what you've got, then I cannot wait to hear more of it. Indy, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's been a real treat and a real privilege to have you on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Much love and respect, Steve. And it was a pleasure to, you know, be here and for reason with the iron thing and, you know, talk about some things, talk about the mixtape, you know, talk about what's to come. You know, it's just a joy sharing, you know, what indie is about and, you know, sharing the music and thing. And, you know, I give thanks. So give thanks for inviting me, man. Much love and respect, see you, man.
Absolutely, and don't worry, I've enjoyed the mixtape already, and it is going to be on repeat in my house for quite a while to come yet. Indeed, thank you.
Yeah, man, much love and respect, Steve, and thanks again for having me. Yeah, man, London Massive, this is Vice of the one called Indie Allen. Much love and respect, you know, thank you for tuning in. Whoa, want you to know, this is love, Jah love you, even in the morning, Jah love you. Living in the wild, wild west, it's not easy to stay alive. We all need money, 'cause everything takes money. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Greetings to the world. Much love.